The first time I Juuled was at the end of 8th grade. My friend handed it to me and I had no idea what it was.
That's 15-year-old Philip Furman speaking at a New York City Council health meeting.
When I started hearing all the facts and everything bad about it, it was already too late. I was already hooked onto it.
Philip's story has become shockingly familiar. You've probably heard of Juul by now. It's been around since June of 2015. And millions of high school students have already Juuled or vaped using the device. What you may not know, however, is how Juul's high 5% nicotine pods have caused a so-called nicotine arms race across the vaping industry.
When Juul came on the market 3.5 years ago, the vapor market was mostly 1% and 2% nicotine. It's now 6%, 7% nicotine. Now this tiny Juul cartridge delivers to a person's body the same amount of nicotine as this entire box of Camels of 20 cigarettes.
Stanford professor Dr. Robert Jackler makes his case in a study in the BMJ journal Tobacco Control. His research group has been tracking the industry for nearly a decade.
When Juul came out with very high nicotine electronic cigarettes, it triggered a nicotine arms race amongst competitive companies seeking to emulate the success of Juul.
Juul is now winning the race. They now control about 3/4 of the vaping market in the United States. While federal law prohibits selling these products to minors, Jackler worries that vaping companies like Juul are using new technology to pack more nicotine into their products.
There's no regulation of the amount of nicotine in electronic cigarettes. Highly concentrated nicotine solutions are potently addictive, and nicotine addiction is a very difficult addiction to break.
I'd be waking up in the middle of the night, I'd have like cold sweats or whatever. It was just not a great experience.
And then I think that's when he really understood what nicotine addiction was.
Remember, many of these kids have never smoked before and are suddenly being exposed to the same nicotine levels as a full pack of cigarettes, without any buildup of tolerance. Juul says it's taken swift action against counterfeit and infringing products and is committed to preventing youth from accessing its products. Juul also says there were products on the market in the range of 4 to 5% nicotine before Juul's rise in popularity. But Jackler says the majority of products were much lower when Juul launched, and it was indeed the popularity of Juul that sent nicotine levels soaring.
We hear about 6th graders doing it, 4th graders doing it. You know, these kids are facing a lifetime of serious nicotine addiction.
I still sometimes crave a Juul, and it's really hard to say no because there are really Juuls everywhere. So it's really hard to fully stop.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta, CNN, reporting.